Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of I Do Work Here, Lady. If you clicked on this video thinking that people were mistaking customers for employees, this isn't the right video. In this episode, you're going to hear about people mistaking employees, and even company bosses, as regular Joe Schmoes, and it's highly entertaining to hear them get put in their place. I hope you stay for all these stories today, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Story 1, Power-hungry employee doesn't know I'm the owner. I once owned a computer store with one of my best friends. As we started to grow, we found it was becoming more and more difficult to handle the in-store repairs as well as the out-of-store work that we had coming in. We decided we needed someone for the front counter. Unfortunately, I went on vacation when my partner hired this girl, not that it was a problem, since we both knew what we needed, and I trusted he could find someone good. When I returned from vacation, I had some out-of-town work with a high-dollar client. This took another 2 weeks, so I still hadn't had the chance to meet the new employee. The first day back just happened to be the same day my partner started his vacation. I walk in and said, "Hi, you must be power mad, ___. I'm." PMB cuts me off and says, "I don't care who you are. What can I help you with? I don't see you with a computer. What are you looking for?" "Excuse me? You should be asking what you need. I have a lot to do to open the store." "Sorry, but I don't think you understand who I am." She responded, "Well, Greg the boss is on vacation, so you're no one important." "Oh really? You do know I could have you unemployed in 1 hour?" Her response, "Oh yeah, whatever. I personally know the owner. I doubt he'd fire me. I'll call him right now." I responded, "I doubt he'd want you treating people like __. But yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I'll call him." I pulled out my cell phone and called my partner. I said, "Hey, I know you just started your vacation, dude, but I think we have an employee problem." PMB was very rude when I walked in this morning. I attempted to tell her who I was, but she wouldn't let me get that far. "Yeah, I can. You over. Hold on 1 second." I handed her the phone. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I asked him later what he said. Here's what he told me. My partner basically told her he's tired of her holier-than-thou attitude, and if she doesn't change the way she treats people, she's not cut out to work at the store anymore. He also told her that she was being __, to the other owner, and told her to pack her things, because she was no longer needed. When she handed the phone back to me, I asked, "So you want me to work up some termination paperwork?" He said, "Yeah, let me know how that turns out. I'll see you in a week." I turned to PMB and said, "Hey, you get your paycheck Friday, right?" She nodded. "Awesome. I owe you about $5 for the 30 minutes you wasted today." I took 10 minutes to type up the reason for termination, all while she sat in a chair bawling like a 2-year-old. "Thanks, and don't let the door smack your ass on the way out." I walked over to the register, pulled out a 5, and pointed her toward the door. We never saw her again. Edit, it's become very clear from many comments that some of you have never been a business owner. To each their own. Many things happen in life that others may not believe, but if you don't believe me, that's fine, doesn't bother me. Story 2, I don't just work here, I'm the owner. This happened about a year ago, right after I opened 2 niche hobby shops. It's an incredibly male-dominated hobby. My typical clients are retired white dudes driving Autos and BMWs. I'm a small 30-year-old woman, covered literally head to toe in tattoos. A customer walks in who's new to me, apparently. He'd been in before while I was out of the shop and one of my male managers helped him. He walks into my shop, and when I smile and greet him with a "Hi, how are you?" he just kind of grunts. Okay, whatever, sometimes people just want to browse. I stay on my computer, finishing up some ordering, and let him wander a bit. He's taking his time but clearly getting agitated. I ask if he's looking for anything in particular. He just stares at me, a long, pregnant pause, before finally breaking the silence. "Where's your manager?" I've been in retail for 15 years, so I'm used to people forgetting their manners, but this didn't sound like "Can I speak to your boss?" It sounded like he was looking for one of my employees. I said, "I'm the only one here today. What can I help you with?" "No, I want to speak to the man that's in charge." "I'll wait," he says, very condescendingly. I reply, "Sir, I am in charge. What can I help you with?" "No, where's that man that helped me last weekend? We were discussing a project, and I want to speak with him directly." This is when I start to get a little snippy. Yay for working for yourself. "Well, sir, I am in charge here. I do the ordering. So, what do you need me to order?" He responds, "He lets you do the ordering?" "Sir, I can see we're not going to get anywhere. If you'd like to come back later, you're more than welcome. But since you won't speak to me and only want a male employee, maybe it's best to come back another time." This enrages him. He gets so red I think he's going to pop. He sputters and takes a couple steps toward me. I forget that I'm only 5 feet tall and stand my ground. He demands, "Give me your boss's phone number, now." At this point, I realize maybe I wasn't clear enough. I start to say I'm the manager, and he cuts me off again. Now, being ignored and interrupted are two of my biggest pet peeves. This man had done both in under 5 minutes. So, I hand him a business card and walk off. He immediately calls the number. My cell phone starts ringing. I answer, "Thank you for calling. You've reached store name S owner." All while staring him straight in the face. I'm petty as hell, and even I wondered if I'd gone too far. He stormed out and I never saw him again. Still cracks me up when I remember his red, veiny face staring at me with wide eyes. Story 3, Fastest Rise and Fall in Employment History. Fired before he can start, over coffee. I was just made aware of this SOB a couple of hours ago. I don't remember his name, but many of our local staff knew him from the neighborhood. He came in and mentioned that John told him to stop by for an interview. I answered the door and took him to the office manager. We were a family-owned business and did everything face-to-face, not online. He comes in, meets my office manager, and they talk about past work experience, how he operates, etc. I'm just upstairs making a pot of coffee, about 15 to 20 feet away, and I can hear everything. He's a little over the top, but I figure he's just trying to impress us. Our office had 3 floors. The top floor had a break room, kitchen, shower, and 3 desks. The manager is happy with what he hears and tells the guy he's hired, then tells him to come upstairs and meet everyone. Coffee's done, so I call down to the manager. I know he'll want a cup, and offer one to the new guy too. Manager gets a cup, new guy gets a cup. Then the new guy pitches a fit because he doesn't like strong coffee. He pours it down the sink, grabs the pot, and pours that out too. Manager looks at me like, which one of us should kill him? We are a 24/7 operation, and we love our coffee. It's our lifeblood. We all make it the same way. In fact, the office manager taught me how to brew it. New guy rants about how weaker coffee has more caffeine and says things are going to change. He'll teach us the right way to do things. Note, he's right, lighter roasts do have more caffeine, but how strong you brew it is a taste thing. I let him brew a pot. It looked like lemonade, yellow tinted, not like any coffee I've ever seen. He held it up proudly, and we could literally see through the pot. I didn't care what he liked, but his condescending attitude was the red flag. Manager tells him, "You should probably shut up if you want this job." He brushes off the manager and says, "You'll learn a lot from working with me." I said, "Wanna bet?" He took offense and snapped, "Who the ___ are you?" Manager says, "He's the owner, so, he's your boss." I look at the manager and say, "He's half right. No way I want this guy working for me." And I fired him, hired and fired in under 15 minutes. We talked about this guy for years. Story 4, I'm not a student, I'm a teacher. Shout out to everyone who was accused of being a student when they'd already graduated. I recently started my first teaching job at 27. As a newbie, not everyone at the school knew me. I looked younger than my age, and I usually wore jeans with a nice blouse or t-shirt. I'd been working there for about a month when I was walking through the hallways during class hours, picking up paperwork and heading to the teacher's lounge during a free period. An older man, maybe in his 40s, stopped me, looking angry. "Excuse me, young lady, what do you think you're doing? Why aren't you in class?" I'm actually not a student. Like hell you are. I've seen you with the older kids. Get to class, now." "Sir, I'm really not a student. I'm a teacher. I'm new here, so you probably haven't seen me." "Stop lying. Go report to the office immediately. I'll make sure your parents hear about this. And don't think I won't be looking for you in detention tomorrow." I went to the office. As I needed to be there anyway, my colleagues asked what happened. I said, "I got sent here because I was outside during class hours. Also, could you call my parents? That man expects me in detention tomorrow." My colleagues died of laughter. And yes, they actually sent me to detention the next day, just to mess with the guy. I brought some grading work with me. The man looked smug as hell when he saw me sitting there. A few minutes later, One of my office colleagues came in and, using the most dramatic voice imaginable, introduced me as their new colleague. The guy's face? Priceless. For some reason, he never sat at my lunch table again. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed hearing these stories today. If you didn't catch the last I Do Work Here, Lady episode, it's right here, I got you covered. See you guys in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.